Hi, okay, in this video I want to go through a quote that I saw the other day that I think is really, really important when it comes to visualizing your life for the way you want it to be. Okay, so the quote is, visualize your life as you want it to be. Go to a private environment for 15 minutes every day where you can imagine. What has been has nothing to do with what will be. That's a hard thing to get, isn't it? When we look at our lives and we see the trajectory from where we started to where we end up. And a lot of time we think, well, it has to be a continual progression. But I know in my life, my life has taken so many twists and turns. If somebody was to look at that it wouldn't make any sense. When we look at something in our mind, what we are doing is we're actually checking references in our subconscious to see how to deal with a new situation. So for example, it could be something like you see a bug on the ground, or you're opening a door handle, or there's a problem at work. Whatever it is, we don't actually look at the situation from a clear perspective. So when we're an adult, we are automatically using our subconscious, which is largely a collection of programs that we have developed over many years of trial and error when we were younger, which resulted in conclusions in our decision-making process. So think about that with your child's mind. When you were a child, you didn't question things, and you sometimes didn't know how to deal with situations like, I remember when I first was learning maths, I remember I was something in grade 1 or something like that, and someone said that the divide symbol, they said to me, I said, how do you do this? I've never seen this before in my life. And my friend said something like, oh, you just add 3. And so for the rest of the day, I thought that the divide symbol meant you just had to add 3. It was like plus, and then you just add another 3. So I had no concept at that point how how that symbol would function, you know? And it's obviously when you get older, you realize, well, oh, that was a silly conclusion to come to. But it was because from my child's perspective, I had not yet had enough situations to make approximations in my life. So it is important for us to realize when we're adults that when we go into a situation feeling like it is a new opportunity to handle things differently, when we meet new people or have a new job or whatever, we need to be aware that we have already decided how it will go. Our mind and body is constantly checking the environment for signals identifying what to do next. So, for example, in social situations, I should laugh. You know, if you're around people and you go, oh, I'll laugh, I'll fit in. I should give eye contact. I should, wait for people to speak so I'm not being rude. I should stand a certain distance away from people and try not to cut anybody off. And further from that, I decide how to fit in. I remember being criticized before. I should have my guard up when talking to people. Or someone who is taller than me will try to make me feel small, etc. The list of ideas and assimilation goes on. And also think about this. Have you ever heard of beginner's luck? Why is beginner's luck so common? The short answer is because in the beginning, we are not so worried about how it is supposed to go. We are kind of like just free because we're in a new environment. We go, oh, well, I don't know how I go with this type of game. I haven't made that decision already in my subconscious. We feel free to let unusual things happen because we don't yet know our true ability yet. Then what happens? We get used to fitting in, to playing the cards that we are dealt. We hide inside of that paradigm. And the more we do things that we are familiar with, the more that we get rooted in that scenario. However, the reality is that our past does not have to dictate our present and future. We could make a decision and have totally different outcomes in our lives. Now think about this. If you get overlooked for a promotion, you start looking for things to blame. and we go, this company's terrible. But the reality is it's not the company's fault. A part of it is to do with how you expect it to go. Okay? Even in situations where you feel victimized, it's not the bully's energy only. It is also you that is tapping into that fear, their fear also. When we recognize the frustration of the recurring nonsense of our lives that keeps happening again and again and again, we are faced with a very simple decision. So what do I want to spend my time experiencing? Which may be good, but it's getting boring. Or do I want to live what I have always dreamed of, even though there is a chance that I will not get exactly what I planned and I may fail? The only reason that the past always seems to dictate the future is that we have the expectation of it happening again. So it always feels like it's so easy to keep going as you are. The same people just keep turning up in your life and the same stuff keeps happening. And you see other people and you think, well, why doesn't it happen to others the same way? Why is it only my life that tends to happen this way? Why am I doomed to this? And it doesn't happen to others the same way. So it is always particularly happening to you that way because of who you are, obviously. However, we are not limited by one position. We are not fixed in position like a tree. We have the ability to be someone else. We can talk a different language. We can change who we are. We can walk into a different store and buy something else. And we can focus on different things and attract different things into our existence. The problem here is that the habit of thinking you are the past person is still very persuasive. And if I say to you, who are you? You'll immediately go to your memory of things that you have done. But none of them is actually you. That is what you did at that time. But if you choose something else, you can be somebody else. And as I've said before, sometimes people get a new limb and start to have the talents of another person. Sometimes people have life-changing experiences. Sometimes people have a life-changing experience and, start to behave differently just because of that thing that happened to them, the way they felt about it. And sometimes people just get fed up with who they are and they just feel like changing dramatically. And at the end of the day, if we make a choice to look at things differently, our reality does change.